Hey, Believers Chapel. Happy October and happy autumn. I'm Joel. I'm one of the pastors here, and I get the opportunity of introducing our new series that we're going to be starting on October 16th here at Believers Chapel, a brand new series called Ghosts. Now, we're not going to be talking about are ghosts real or anything like that. We're going to be talking about something that matters far more. The things of our past, the ghosts of our past sins, past mistakes, past failures that haunt us, that follow us around. See, God does not condone our sinfulness, but he does offer mercy and grace through Jesus Christ so we can experience love and find forgiveness. So if we want to overcome the things of our past, we need to see that God offers us a way forward. And the way that we're going to explore this is through the lens of David's sin, the great sin that he committed with Bathsheba through adultery that led to murder and all the consequences that come with it. That was something that followed David for a long time. And it did not just impact him, it impacted his whole family. It impacted his friendships. So our first week of this series, we're going to be looking at the idea of guilt. How guilt is that thing that will follow us around and cause us to not see or not believe God's offer of mercy and grace. So we'll explore the story of David and Bathsheba found in 1 Samuel 11 and 12. We'll look at Nathan confronting David and how that guilt had been following David, impacting David, and impacting his relationships. Sin will rob us not only of our serenity, it'll rob us of our sanity as well. So when these ghosts of our past start to haunt us and keep us from the fullness of communion with God, what can we do to find serenity through the mercy of Jesus Christ? Then the way that we'll continue to unpack this story is through how David processed his past, those ghosts that were haunting him, through two Psalms that he wrote, Psalm 51 and Psalm 32. Both of these were written in light of that sin that he had committed with Bathsheba. When we look at Psalm 51 on October 23rd, we're going to be looking at the concept of shame. David feels the weight of his shame, his guilt, and he begins to share this. He begins to work through this. Apart from sin, shame is what will haunt us most. It's what will keep us from seeing the mercy, love, and forgiveness that God offers. The shame we feel and we face will cause such fear sometimes that we cannot interact with anyone, especially ourselves. How do we overcome that? How did David overcome that? How do we see a way in our own lives to move beyond this? As we explore, the question is, where is God in our shame? On the last week of our series, on October 30th, we're going to look at the concept of forgiveness as seen in Psalm 32. This is another psalm that David wrote in light of the sin that had been haunting him. If the blessed are those whose transgressions are forgiven, how do we take that step of embracing forgiveness? The faith to fully understand that God's grace and love is given unto us. As David's now feeling the full weight of his sin, he has this opportunity to be free from the ghosts of his past, to be free from the sins of his past. Our ghosts would rather keep us in the past where our sin and shame becomes toxic. But David goes another way through his faith in God and his understanding of God's mercy. God calls us to forgiveness so that his, as Psalm 32 says, steadfast love surrounds those who trust in the Lord. I don't know about you, but I need to grow in my trust of the Lord. I need to grow in feeling his steadfast love and knowing that anything that I have done is not beyond the reach of his grace, not beyond the reach of his mercy. I want you to experience that too. So I invite you to join us every single Sunday in October as we go into this series, Ghost, busting those sins of our past. And as we work through what it is to fully not live in guilt or shame, but to live in forgiveness and find the hope, that mercy through Jesus Christ God offers every single one of us. Join us Sundays at 10 a.m. in person or online here at Believers Chapel all month long here in October. We'll see you on Sunday.